Why did you click on this video? I truly had to ask myself this question because I'm trying to understand you as much as possible so I can give you as much value as possible. So really, why did you click on this video? And I'm concluding that it's because you're experiencing pain. And the pain that you feel is related to the fact that you are noticing you are wasting your life. And wasting your life can look like so many different shapes or form. Let me just name a few. It could be you procrastinating. It could be feeling unfulfilled at work. It could be having excessive screen time. Maybe you scroll through social media or you binge watch shows. Maybe you're neglecting relationship, which makes you feel very isolated. Maybe you're avoiding challenges, which makes you feel like a Well, actually, what I mean is it makes you feel like a coward that stays in their comfort zone. Maybe you're living for others. So that means that you're prioritizing other people's expectations and needs and desires over your own. So you feel like you're wasting your life. It could be substance abuse that is controlling your life, alcohol, nicotine, weed. And finally, it could be simply ignoring your health. When you are feeling unhealthy, you feel like you are wasting your life. So if that's you right now, if you relate to one or many, I just want you to know this. Do not feel bad for doing these things. Because you know what you could be doing right now? You could be doing exactly those behaviors, but what are you doing? You are listening to my YouTube video. You are trying to change. The worst thing that you could do right now is to feel bad and then soothe yourself with those instant pleasures. And here's something that's going to give you some perspective. Every successful people that have meaningful and fulfilling lives, they have had those vices as well. They have had to overcome things that were holding them back, things that were making them feel like they were wasting their life. It's not like they came out of the womb and everything was linear and going great from there and they were high achievers and everything happened to them so easily and they didn't have to combat those things pulling them down. They had to have this moment of awareness where they had enough and wanted to do something about it. And that's you right now. This can be the turning point in your life. And you might even be making it worse for yourself because there's a good chance that you are comparing yourself to friends, to peers, to coworkers, to family members, just to other people in general. And you're like, they're indulging in those same habits or their life are pretty similar to mine, yet why don't they look like they're suffering that much? So then you feel even worse about yourself because you feel bad for doing those things and then you feel like an alien within those people because you feel like something's wrong with you for feeling bad. Here's the thing. Some people don't suffer the way you do because they are just not self-aware. You are gifted right now because you have had that glimpse of self-awareness that you have more to offer. You have more to give. You have more to receive as well. You just have seen your potential. And even though you might not fully believe in everything that you can do, you still have a part of you that believes that you have potential within you. A lot of people don't even get to that. A lot of people are not even aware and they just kind of go through life living an average life. And we need those type of people. That's why it's an average. We need some people to stay average. That's just how it is. But you are meant for more. That's why you feel this sickening feeling when you see yourself waste your life away, because you know it can be so much more. And the reason why this hurts so much is because when you are not living up to your potential, you are neglecting a human need. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the bottom, you have the most basic needs, which are the physiological needs: food, warmth, shelter, water. And if you neglect those needs, you will physically die. So that's why it is called a need. But if you look higher up the pyramid, at the top, you have self-actualization. This is a fulfillment that you need to have. And you are aware of that. And when you do not live up to that, if you're not trying to develop yourself and self-improve and get out of your comfort zone and become proud of yourself, if you're not trying to do those things, and you live at a lower vibrancy, you will lower your consciousness and you will feel dead inside. And that's why you suffer. So I'm sorry, but you won't have any choice right now than to reach your potential. Because whatever happens in your life, if you do not live up to it, if you do not try to get there, it will eat you alive. But this is not something that you should be scared of. This is something that should excite you. It is exciting. It just feels scary or uncomfortable because you don't really know your direction. You don't know how you're going to get there. And it just feels different than your comfort zone. The fear only exists in your head. It's not actually that scary. It's a beautiful journey that you're about to embark on. So I'm just excited for you that you are willing to change your life right now, and you should be proud of yourself. Again, I'm going to say it again. You could be doing so many other things right now, yet you are listening to a self-improvement video. Just recognize that. That's something different. You are doing something different than the average person, so you're not meant to stay there. So I just want you to keep riding this wave and surround yourself with like-minded individuals so you can boost yourself towards your potential. So let's get to work. There's a good chance that you're on your self-improvement journey. And when you're on this self-development, you probably have a first instinct to ask yourself why. You might want to ask yourself, why do you keep self-sabotaging? And I'm guilty of that too. The reason why we like to do this is because we want to find the trigger or the cause of things. And that feels good to know why. It feels good to know. But this is a mistake I want you to avoid. This is something that I have spent way too much time thinking of in the past, but that just paralyzes you. Because when you start thinking about why so much, it keeps you trapped in the past. So let's say you're like, why am I abusing substances? Why am I trying to escape reality? Why am I accepting less than I deserve? And you're like, oh, it's because I was neglected as a child, or I was bullied. My ex did this to me. I was traumatized. And when you find these stories, which are valid, but if you hung on to that or you focus too much on why you do a certain behavior, you're not really focusing on the present moment. And that's something that takes your power away because you're just stuck in the past, which is something that you cannot change. If you really want a reason, let me give it to you. It's a universal reason why we are sabotaging our life. We are sabotaging our lives when we give our power away. This is the only way we sabotage, because you can only sabotage in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment and you give your power away, that is a recipe for failure. If you want your life to change and not sabotage, you need to take your power back. And taking your power back means making conscious and deliberate decisions that will affect your future in a desirable way. This isn't some woo-woo concept. Your power is real. It's something that you have and that you need to claim it. Everyone has so much power. You don't realize how powerful you are. You just have given it away to things, to people, to circumstances. When you adopt a victim mentality and you feel like life is unfair and you get stuck on the past and blaming other people, that's when you give your power away. But if you want to stop sabotaging, you just have to stop sabotaging. And you only can do that by claiming your power and making better decisions. You will change your life by making better decisions in the present moment. You might not be responsible for what happened to you in the past, but you are responsible for how you react to it in the moment. And that basically is what taking your power back means. I like to think of alcoholics. This is a good example of this concept I'm trying to explain to you right now. When you're an alcoholic, it doesn't really matter, or it isn't as valuable when you start thinking about all the reasons why alcohol is ruining their life. Yes, it can be very insightful. The alcoholic can be feeling very touched and moved and feel like logically that should make sense that they should stop drinking because it is ruining their life, their health, and the life of other people, the people that they care about. But ultimately, that's not what makes them stop drinking alcohol. What makes them stop drinking alcohol is stop drinking alcohol. Do you get what I'm saying? And the only reason they can stop drinking alcohol is by taking their power back and realize that they are the ones that can make that decision in the moment. They don't have to think about, I'm not going to stop drinking alcohol for the rest of my life. They just have to think about every single day, I'm not going to drink alcohol today. And they do that every single day. So I just know a lot about alcoholism because I've been to tons of AA and Al-Anon meetings. This is a big topic that has happened in my life, and I haven't really shared much on my YouTube channel, but there were so many lessons I have learned from there. And alcoholics are not that different than many of us. They're just addicted to alcohol. A lot of us are addicted to different things, to our phones, to social media, to shopping, to consuming things. We are not that different, and there are a lot of lessons to be learned. So let's talk about taking your power back. This is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this video, how to take your power back so you stop wasting your life and instead create the one of your dreams. And I will go through 6 key components to claiming your power. And I took these from the book Personal Development for Smart People, but I will summarize it for it to be easy and digestible for you. The first concept to power is responsibility. You need to take full responsibility of your life. It is impossible to build your power until you accept the total responsibility and total accountability. This is a contract that you will need to make for yourself. It doesn't matter what has happened in the past that wasn't your fault. The present moment and your life is your responsibility, how you react to it. This is a concept. You need to have it drilled in you. So it doesn't matter, let's say that you had a car accident that made you out of shape. You're the one that needs to deal with you that's breathing heavily when you go up the stairs. It doesn't matter that your ex screwed you over and maxed out your credit cards. You're the one that needs to deal with the debt. It doesn't matter that your boss is underpaying you and is an a-hole. You're the one that needs to live every single day doing a job that you don't like. Ultimately, taking responsibility is owning the fact that you are the one that can change the situation. If you look at the word responsibility, think about it. Response-ability. It's your ability to respond. So how can you respond to the situation you're in right now? It doesn't matter to blame God, your parents, the government, an ex-boyfriend. Blame can only make you powerless. It really doesn't matter who contributed to your current situation. All that matters is that you're the one that must live with it. And was a perfect example in my life. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Bianca St. George, and I'm a professional athlete. My job is being a professional soccer player here in the US. And my career has not gone the way that I have envisioned. I thought that I was meant for so much more in my career. I think a lot of athletes go through this, but I just got so surprised by how underwhelming it has been for me because I just had high expectations. And initially, it would feel so good to just blame my coaches, the abuse I've had, the injuries I've had, how unfair and unlucky I was. There were so many reasons why I can say this is the reason why my career hasn't been the way I wanted it to be. But that makes me feel so powerless because if those things gave me the situation I'm in right now, it makes me feel like my life right now is so out of my control. So instead, if I just take full accountability that the reason why my life is the way it is right now is because of my fault, that also tells me that I have the power to create my future. So this is why I'm here on YouTube right now talking to you. This is me taking my power back. This is me realizing that my life failures, my shortcomings, my pains, and also my success stories, they're all part of me, and I can use that to create something bigger. I have become a creator. And when you live at your potential, you are being creative. And I'm taking my power back by building my personal brand, by creating a movement, by leaving my legacy, by getting out of my comfort zone and coming here on YouTube and realizing that this is a choice I'm making, an investment in myself. This is not to brag, this is to inspire you. You can literally do anything you want, but that starts with you taking full accountability of your life and realizing that you're the one that needs to make those decisions. One of my favorite examples about responsibility is thinking about parenting. If you think about a parent, they need to take care of their children's needs. They need to make sure they are loved, nurtured, fed, safe, because it is the parent's responsibility. I want you to treat your potential like your child. Your potential, your success is your responsibility. So it doesn't matter if you're bored, you're tired, you've got messed over, I'm trying not to swear, and people have done you dirty. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. It is your responsibility to not neglect this need. When you take responsibility, you will always find a way to do the work that's necessary to sustain, to fulfill your need. So accepting full responsibility of your life really just means being willing to do the work necessary to create the outcomes that you want. That is you fully using your power and becoming a conscious creator. The second component to power is desire. And why is desire important? Because it's literally what fuels your power. Think about it. When you truly desire something, excites you. It literally makes you jump out of bed and wanting to get that thing. When you're so connected with what you want and you know that you can get it because you're taking responsibility of your life, this will be a driven force for you. So ask yourself, what do you want? What do you fantasize about? And that is really hard to answer because we're so clouded by what we desire. But if you have a hard time figuring that out, I did a whole video about these 10 ways to figure out what you want. I'm going to link it right here. I'm going to put it in the description as well. But also, if you want to go on my private community, I have all of them written out as a protocol. And they're so powerful. One of the ways is to ask yourself, what do you get jealous of? When you're jealous of something, it's because they have something that you want. So I have all these prompts and these ways for you to start thinking about what you truly desire, because you need to cultivate and really attach to this desire, because that will fuel you to remain empowered. I want you to allow yourself to dream big and to not put limit on yourselves, and really don't feel ashamed of what you want. You don't have to explain it to anyone. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone but yourself. So really spend time thinking about it, cultivating and nurturing your desires. You know what? It's perfectly okay to want the impossible, even though it seems so big. Like, I have a dream that if I say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous and it sounds humorous because of how impossible it looks like. And I've said it once before and people laughed at me, but that's okay. Because you know what's not okay? It's to pretend that your desires don't matter. Don't lie to yourself with what you want. Truly own them. Because the moment that you deny yourself of what you want, you lose power because you start living inauthentically. And when you're not being authentic with who you are, that makes you powerless. Because you are living with someone that you do not trust because you don't know them. They're not you. Let me share with you one of my desires. So one of them is so simple. I want money. And that is something that I used to be so ashamed of to say out loud. But I want money because it gives me resources. It gives me options. It gives me opportunities. It gives me security. It allows me to create more, impact more people. Like, money is beautiful. And I used to be so resistant to admitting that to myself. But when I was denying myself of that desire, it did not make me want to push myself out of my comfort zone to get more money. Because if I told myself that money didn't matter to me, I would just be content living on a $30,000 salary. But that never sit well with me because I knew that I wanted more. And the moment that I started telling myself, I want money and I'm responsible to get that if that's what I want, that makes you feel empowered because at least you're not lying to yourself anymore. Admitting to myself that I wanted money felt so greedy at first, but I heard this perspective and it really helped me, so I hope it helps you. Money isn't evil. If you're someone that is a good person and you have money, it allows you to become a greater person because you can impact more people. You can reach more people. You have more resources. You have more ability to connect. But when you're a bad person and you have more money, what does that make you? A bigger asshole. That's it. So the moment I started embracing my desires, I started changing my life and acting differently. And this is partially why I started my YouTube channel, because I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in developing my skills, communication skills, connection skills, learning, because I'm self-improving and this is my channel. This has been the best thing for myself and I'm just investing for my future right now. and I will eventually get the money, but I already feel so good because I know I'm on the right path. And let me just give a side note here because this is going to be really important. A lot of people think they know what they want, but that it's not truly actually what they want. A lot of people are out of touch about their truest desires because they think they want a certain thing, but they're literally just copying what they've been imprinted on by influencers, social media, marketing, what you see on TV reality shows. So you have to be careful about what you consume and how that influences your desires, because you will notice that if you actually think you want something and you start working for it and it just doesn't feel good, that's probably because you don't actually want it. Just remember this statement: only true desires can summon true power. The third concept to power is self-determination. And that is a concept that is a little tricky to understand, but I'm going to simplify it as much as I can for you. Self-determination basically is you are completely free to make choices. Okay? Just realize this. Doesn't that already make you feel empowered? You are free to make choices. No one is there to make you do a certain thing, to make you have a certain job, to stay with a certain type of person. You are free to decide. This emphasizes autonomy, independence, and the right to control your own destiny. So whatever's happening in your life, and if you're dissatisfied with it, and you feel like doing something different goes against the status quo, but it feels right, follow through your gut. Follow through your intuition that tells you that it isn't right for you. That is your freedom that you are exercising. And when you exercise your own personal freedom to respect who you are and your desires, that is you embodying your true power. And there's a lot of people that might tell you it's risky to do what you do and that it's not smart, and they might judge you for it. But really what they do is they're being envious, because they envy the fact that you are truly authentic to who you are and that you respect who you are. If someone like me was around you and you decided to do something because your intuition told you and you feel like it was aligned with what you want and who you are, I would 100% support you along the way. Even though it feels different, but this is what's going to give you different results. If you keep doing what everybody else is doing, you're going to have the life that everybody else has. But you reaching your potential is a luxury that comes by paying the price, by making hard decisions. And that will be you being at your full potential if you listen to yourself and make those decisions. In my life this year, I have had an experience that reflects self-determination. So like I've mentioned, I'm a professional soccer player, but my whole career, I have been a defender. Ever since college and my first 5 years as a pro, I was playing defense. But last year, at the end of the year, I knew that I was ready to switch teams, but I also wanted to become a forward. And it's pretty much unheard of to hear defenders becoming forwards. It's usually the other way around. But I felt a compelling desire to believe in myself, to market myself as a forward and just start my career new again. It felt extremely risky, and a lot of people were not suggesting that I would do that because it would not make me as marketable. I did not have the experience, the credibility, the stats that I would be a good forward, but I just believed that I could be one. I just felt like if things were right and I could trust my gut, the team would see the same vision that I do. And it turns out that I signed with arguably the best team in the league, the most competitive one, as a forward. And I have never felt more aligned, excited, and driven to train and play for soccer like ever before. This feels completely aligned with my authentic self. And that only happened because I decided to respect myself and exercise the power that I had the freedom to choose what I want. The fourth component to power is focus, and this is my favorite component. So let me give you a little bit of perspective here. Like I've mentioned, true power only exists in the present moment. There is no power in the past, that's over and done with. There's no power in the future, that's just the result of your imagination. You have no power to act yesterday or tomorrow. All that exists is right now. So every time that you worry about the future or you dwell on the past, you are powerless. And even thinking about the past or the future, those thoughts are happening in the present moment. So you truly only have one choice to make at any time. It's how you direct your focus in the present moment. And I know how that could feel for you because you probably are a high achiever, just like I am. And when you're a high achiever and you're visionary, you're ambitious, you are asking, okay, but what about long-term goals? If all that matters is the present moment, what sense does it make to talk about future goals, future visions, and how can you actually achieve anything? And here's the thing that clicked for me. The purpose of goal setting isn't about controlling the future. It's about improving the quality of the present moment. Your goals are there to give you better focus about right now. When you are focused right now, when you choose what to focus on, you are powerful because you are taking responsibility of the most important and precious resource you have, your attention. Everyone has the same amount of time, but it's how people spend their time that makes a difference. And how you spend your time basically means what you focus on. So when you set sight on achieving something, you have to ask yourself, how does setting this goal improve your present reality? When you think about that goal, it should give you better clarity, focus, and motivation in the present moment. So what does this goal of starting a business do for you right now? Not in 5 years, not in a year, not next week. How does it make you feel in the present moment to become a business owner? Does it give you hope? Does it inspire you? Does it fill you with desire? Because let's say that's you. If you're like me, you want to be an entrepreneur. Let's say you want to have your own business. You have to act like that person right now anyways. Because if you don't like how it feels right now to do the work to become an entrepreneur, how are you expected to make it feel good when you do become one? Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a normal schedule, like a 9 to 5 and weekends off. When you're an entrepreneur, it's more like a 24/7 job. So that means that right now, I need to embody that. If that's what I want to become in the future, I need to live that right now. And if it doesn't feel good right now, it won't feel good in the future. Because all that would be changing is the things related to that, like the title or maybe the fruition or the tangible business. But at the end of the day, it's still you doing the work. It's you being that person. It's not like you're going to be miserable the whole time and hate your life. And then when you get there, all these feelings will suddenly shift and then you will feel good about yourself. Setting goals and working on your goals should feel good from the start. It shouldn't feel good only when you get there. One of my favorite examples to think about this is people that talk about fitness. It's not like you go to the gym and you eat clean and you are consistent with your workout and you feel like it's terrible the whole time and you have to sacrifice so much and then you become fit and healthy, and then when you become that person, you stop doing all the habits that got you there. If you stop doing the things that got you to be that person, you will then just resort back to who you were. That is why it's so important to enjoy the journey, because that's really all that matters. That's literally all that exists, is the day by day. You need to be enjoying. The reason why I know that I'll be healthy for the rest of my life is because I can work out and I can eat clean, and it's not hard for me because it's just part of who I am. It's something that I've accepted. It's something that I value. I just know I need to move my body and I need to eat clean, and that's just me. And what does it matter how long it takes to achieve the final outcome? Seriously, whether it takes 1 week or 5 years, it's irrelevant because the outcome is just a moment. It's just a thing. What really matters is you living your daily life and feeling aligned with what you do. It's like I have a goal to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That is a dream. And my first milestone is to reach 25K. But really, I don't really care that much about the outcome, because even though it would be nice to have that, it doesn't change my daily life. I will still have to post consistently once a week. I will still have to put in the work to create valuable videos and put in the work to self-improve so I can have good content. It doesn't change what I do regardless of the result. And I just know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get what I want, which makes me feel at peace, and I can just trust the process because this isn't that difficult. And I think it's not difficult because I know I will get what I want if I just do the thing. But even when I do reach 25,000 or when I reach 1 million, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing right now. So might as well enjoy what you do right now because it's not going to change, or the feelings are not going to change your daily behaviors or how you feel about what you do, regardless of the outcome. And I don't know if what I'm saying is so woo-woo and it's a little hard to understand the concept. I really hope you get it. Like, let me know if you do, because this is so important. People try so much to set goals for themselves without understanding that it should improve your present reality. Your goals is not something to enjoy in the future. Your goals are there for you to enjoy your present moment, the grind to get there. Because once you start putting in the work to get to where you want to go, like, you know you'll get what you want because you're putting in the work. And the world will have no other choice than to reward you for what you put in. So just remember that your focus determines your life outcome. Now, the last two are a little bit quicker. The fifth component to power is effort. So we've already established that to turn your desires into reality, you must take action. Like, you can't just have like the law of attraction where you just think something so strongly and you just wish for it that it's going to happen. Like, you actually have to go out there and do the work. But the thing is, when you set those goals and you work to get there, the work should not feel miserable. So for example, I am currently putting effort in this video. I have put effort preparing for this video. I have put effort into like just putting my makeup on, setting up this camera and everything. Like, it took effort, but ultimately it feels good. It should have this layer of feeling good because you are seeing yourself manifesting. Like, I know that I will get rewarded in the future because I'm seeing myself doing the work right now. So if you find yourself doing something that feels so hard and draining and really does make you feel miserable, recognize that you are probably not doing something that you actually want. It should not feel that draining. It should not feel that hard. And you know what's funny is it almost feels harder for me to not work on my goals, because I'm like, why would I do something that I don't really want? I don't watch TV anymore. Like, it's been years, but I don't even own a streaming service. It's because I know that I cannot watch a show by myself and feel like I desire that more than reading something that will expand my mind. And it's not like I'm anti-shows. I'm just like, if I were to watch something, I want it to be like a valuable moment with the person I'm watching it with or something. And it really happens rarely, but I'm not anti this. All I'm saying is that I'm respecting my desires. I don't need to watch a show to fulfill my desires. That actually depletes me. That feels like more effortful. That makes me feel bad on the inside because I'm like, there are other things I'd rather be doing. And initially, even though you might be doing something that is related to your desires, it might feel a little bit harder from the start just because you're so programmed to want things that feel good immediately because you're used to scrolling through your phone and you're used to maybe bad habits, eating junk food, whatever. Things that give you instant dopamine all the time is going to make it hard for you to really feel good about working on your goals. So I would consider putting those things away, do a detox from that. And it's going to feel hard initially working on your goals, but it's going to get better. It will only get hard and always feel hard if you constantly like switch tasks. If you work a little bit on your goals and then kind of succumb to your instant gratification and then keep wasting your life and then go back and forth. If you find yourself always in this back and forth cycle, you will never break the cycle. You only break the bad habits when you stop doing the bad habits. It's the same concept from the beginning with the alcohol. And effort will also be required for this last and sixth component to power, self-discipline. And I love the concept of self-discipline. Self-discipline is basically part of my personality. It's what has gotten me to be where I'm at today. And it's something that I value so highly because I realize that it is the only way that you can be the person that you want to be, because you have to say no to things that lower you down, which is all around us. Everything around us is always trying to pull us down. But being self-disciplined is you exercising your power. It's you owning the fact that you can make a choice. And even when you will have time that you're working on your goals and you're like, it's supposed to feel good and it doesn't feel good, I don't feel motivated, that's when self-discipline kicks in. Because I promise you, this is what happens to me. 90% of the time, I don't feel motivated to do anything that I'm doing related to my goals. I literally never feel motivated. I find motivation super overrated, but you know what kicks in? Self-discipline. And when I start just owning the fact that I need to be self-disciplined and do it anyways, I end up getting into work, and then it only takes maybe 10 minutes or 30 minutes, and then I'm in the flow. I'm back into it, because we try to convince ourselves that, oh, we're so tired and we don't have energy, we're not inspired, but this is just your lizard brain talking to you. You need to like shut that down and just be disciplined and do the work regardless of how you feel, because you'll realize that the reason why you didn't want to do it is because you just felt understimulated and bored, and you would rather just scroll through your phone because that will give you instant dopamine. But if you start working on your things, you'll realize that it will kick in and you will have motivation kind of build up later. Motivation, I don't use it to do things. Motivation is almost like a reward to me that I get from doing the thing, from being self-disciplined. This is something I really always try to change people's mind about, because I have a private community that I will link in this description if you want to have like people that are on self-improvement, that push each other, that support each other, that have each other's backs, and you want to have access to my free courses and everything. You can just sign up in my description. But there's a lot of people on there that just want more motivation, and I'm like, you cannot rely on motivation. It has an expiration date, it's fleeting, it's unreliable and unpredictable. Just forget about motivation and just think about self-discipline. Become self-disciplined. That is literally the key. Motivation, as you see, is not part of the 6 components to power. That almost feels powerless, because you know you can't rely on motivation. So why would you bank on it and hope for it? Because that just gives your power away. You're like relying on something that you can't control, but self-discipline is something that you actually can control. You build self-discipline by being self-disciplined. Everyone's trying to find the secret or the tip or how to be more self-disciplined. Like, it's by being more self-disciplined. It's that simple. And if you want to know more, like, what does it look like? You can watch this video that I literally give the 6-step process on how to be self-disciplined. Like, what does it mean? How can you cultivate that? I make it so easy for you in 6 steps, and you can watch it as well. And I'll put the link in my description as well. But self-discipline is the key for you to actually change your life, because it will be this like force that will make you set boundaries, that will make you say no, that will make you do things a little bit differently. It's like when you recognize that when you have a trigger to do something, you have a space before you react. Even though maybe you have this urge to smoke weed tonight, because it would just feel so good and it would be just such a fun night, and maybe you're going to convince yourself you're going to be more creative on it, but you know that it's actually hurting you, you have that space to be disciplined and say no and just not do it. You have that capability. And it gets easier the more you exercise it. It's kind of like a muscle. So power in general is kind of like a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful you become. Kind of like a muscle. The more you train your muscle, the bigger it grows and the more strong it is. The stronger it is. So self-discipline is the same way. Power is the same way. The more you use it, the more it grows. And don't you want to be more powerful? The more powerful you are, the more control you have over your life and creating the life that you desire. Here you have it all, the 6 components to power. And if you want to know practical ways, like things to do to become more powerful, stick around, because that will be the concept in my next video. Okay, I'm giving you a little insight because you watched until the end. But if you want to let me know that you watched until the end, put an emoji of an animal that represents power to you. In my community, we use the gorilla, but if you have something different, I would love to know which animal is like your spirit animal, the one that makes you feel empowered. Could be a hawk, could be a tiger, could be literally anything. So thank you for watching until the end. I'm so excited that you are taking your potential seriously. You could be doing so many other things to sabotage yourself, but look at you. You're built different. You're doing things differently. And I'm so excited to see how your life changes. I love you so much. I will see you very soon in a new video. Mwah.